First to breaking news, Iran has just launched a ballistic missile attack on a US airbase in Iraq. The base is home to a large contingent of American troops, but at this stage we don't know just how many people may have been killed or injured. Let's go live to US correspondent Amelia Brace. Amelia, this situation is developing very quickly. What's the latest?
Well, as you said, Ange, this is very much happening as we speak. We're getting fresh pictures in from Iranian state television that they say show this attack. The Pentagon says that more than a dozen ballistic missiles were fired at two Iraqi bases which house US troops. Earlier today, US bases across the Middle East were placed on high alert to possibly shoot down Iranian forces as intelligence mounted about the real threat of an imminent attack against US targets. It now seems that those fears have been realised. There are no details yet on casualties, as you mentioned. The US military saying they're currently assessing the damage.
Amelia, President Trump promised any attack on US personnel would be met with an extreme response. This is a very worrying development.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Just today, the president spoke from the White House saying the US response to an Iranian attack would be, quote, disproportionate, even threatening to target cultural sites in the country. We know that the president has been briefed on this latest development. His press secretary saying, we are aware of the reports of attacks on US facilities in Iraq. The president has been briefed and is monitoring the situation closely and consulting with his national security team.
So, Amelia, this appears to be the start of the retaliation promised by Iran after the assassination of their top military commander.
Yeah, that's right. Tehran always said that there would be a military response to what was effectively the assassination of Iranian military commander Qasem Soleimani in a US airstrike last week. Just today, Iran's National Security Council announced it was considering 13 revenge scenarios that would be, quote, a historic nightmare for the US. Well, it now seems that nightmare has become a reality. We now have to wait and see how the US responds.
OK, Amelia, we'll check back in with you later in the bulletin. Thank you. Now let's go to political reporter Jennifer Beshwari in Canberra for us this morning. Jen, how is our government responding?
Well, and Prime Minister Scott Morrison is aware of the situation and is monitoring it very closely. On his flight to Kangaroo Island this morning, he's spoken with the Chief of the Defence Force, Angus Campbell, and the Foreign Affairs Minister, Marise Payne. In the last hour or so, he's receiving regular updates as well from the ground. Scott Morrison also called the opposition leader, Anthony Albanese, to brief him on the situation. Now, Australia has no troops at the Al Asad Air Base. We do, however, have 300 troops and diplomats in Taji. That's about a 3-hour drive away from where this attack took place. There are grave fears for our forces there, and an order could go out today, in fact any minute now, to withdraw our troops and our diplomats. But we're also in a strict alliance with the United States, so we could be called upon to assist if this violence escalates any further. Now, our defence forces, though, have been expecting this kind of retaliation following the killing of Tehran's military chief. So there is very troubling news out of the Middle East today, and I'll bring you all the updates from Canberra as soon as I get them.
OK, thanks so much, Jennifer.